78 Sports TV here. Welcome to the Lions Den special debate. The Mayweather-Pacquiao saga continues. We have Divine Sense versus UK boxing blogger. All right. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Yo, what's up? Good.
What's
All
going
right.
on, 78? Thanks for bringing us in here.
No problemo. All right. Divine Sense will be representing Floyd Mayweather. UK boxing blogger will be representing Manny Pacquiao. So first round, let's go to resume. Let's start with UK boxing blogger. Break down Manny Pacquiao's resume and why is he better than Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Right. Well, in my opinion, and I believe that Manny Pacquiao's resume is clearly better than Floyd Mayweather's. Right. Basically, the guy has gone from 112 pounds up to 154. That covers 42 pounds. So when we rank fighters for pound, he's covered the most poundage. He's been a champion in 6 of the weight classes, spanning through 10. You could count that 7 because he destroyed Ricky Hatton for the Ring Magazine title of the light welterweight division, and Ricky Hatton had only just been stripped for the IBF strap as well. He won off Paulie Malignaggi before that. His real weight class, So he's spanned more divisions, covered more pounds, and he's won more titles at more weight classes than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has only gone from 130 to 147. To 154, sorry, so that's 24 pounds. So he clearly covers more pounds. Manny Pacquiao started pro as a very, very young guy. Within about 3 years, less than 3 years, not with the kind of amateur pedigree and support that Floyd had received throughout his life with his professional fighting uncles and father, trained him as a little kid. Manny Pacquiao did it the hard way. He come through a conveyor belt of lightweight fighters like flyweight and lower and above, thousands and thousands of them over in Asia. He battled his way through and become within 3 years the WBC flyweight champion. He obviously goes up. He bypasses bantamweight division straight up to super bantamweight. After a few fights, he becomes the super bantamweight champion, the IBF strap. He obviously then goes up to the featherweight divisions, where then he engages in some of the best featherweight fights you're likely to see in 2 fights with Barrera, trilogies with Morales, couple of fights with Marquez, spanning over the featherweight and super featherweight divisions. He not only beats most of them guys, I know he obviously lost to Morales and had a draw with Marquez, but he destroyed them and showed power, and he showed the ability to progress his boxing skills, because he come over to Freddie Roach and he come from a one-handed fighter, and he gradually gained some boxing IQ and started to use his fast feet and a variety of different weapons in the ring with both hands. So not only that, he's engaged in the featherweight division, some of the best fights against the best featherweights, future Hall of Famers, and he's gone in there and ducked nobody. And he's obviously gone up to the light. This is where, for me, Pacquiao's career stands out. He went through a hot streak, an absolute hot streak, when he went from the super featherweight title to the lightweight title, destroyed David Diaz, WBC title. Then he gets Oscar De La Hoya. He boxes Oscar De La Hoya's head off. You can say he was weight trained or this or that, but the fact is Oscar De La Hoya took punches off Pacquiao better than any other fighter that fought Pacquiao in a couple of years before that and a couple of years after that. He took clean headshots all night, but Pacquiao simply just boxed his head off. So to state that Pacquiao doesn't even have boxing skills is just crazy. He was mixing it up with the body, bouncing in and out, head movement. He just destroyed Oscar De La Hoya. No one, weight trained or not, would destroy Oscar De La Hoya like that. So then he goes and fights Ricky Hatton for the 140 lineal championship, the Ring Magazine title. Ricky Hatton at his best weight class, just come off a really, really impressive win over Paulie Malignaggi, absolutely destroyed him. Then he fought Cotto at 147, absolutely pulverized him. Then fought Joshua Clottey, some guy. He just had a great performance off Cotto, and he was a real tough, avoided fighter, and he dominated plotty. I know it wasn't vintage Pacquiao, but the scorecards and the performance, he just owned him. And then obviously he went to the Margarito fight. He absolutely destroyed Margarito. He'd never be the same after the damage that Pacquiao put him through in that fight. And he become obviously a 6-weight world champion that night for the WBC light middleweight championship. And then obviously Bradley, controversial loss. But then Juan Manuel Marquez, you give the guy 4 fights. And he obviously got KO'd in that fight. But what I will say is the mark of a true champion, and what Pacquiao has done every time from every defeat, he has come back better than ever, or come back to the same level. I remember when he lost that fight, people were saying, Pacquiao's finished now. No one can ever come back from a knockout like that, or it'll take him so long to get over them skeletons. And then everybody was saying Brandon Reyes may have too much fight for him in coming back from a fight like that. And he absolutely just used boxing skills, stayed out of the way against a durable, tough guy and boxed Brandon Reyes' head off. He's a former world champion at lightweight himself. And then he come back and beat Timothy Bradley a lot better than he did in the first fight, in my opinion. Chris Algieri, again, another undefeated dude, just dominated him this weekend, got his right hand back into play, and he looked stronger and fitter and better than ever. You know, maybe not as good as in his prime. But what I will say is there's some other big stats. Pacquiao's got more wins than Floyd Mayweather. He's got 10 more wins than him. He's got a higher knockout percentage. You know, so you cannot escape the fact that Manny Pacquiao's got more wins, more KOs. He's gone through 20 more pounds in fighting weight than Floyd Mayweather, and he spans over 10 divisions, and he's a 6 division, pretty much 7 division actually, world champion. So I don't see how you can argue with that in any way. Plus, he had much better wins. He's got a better period from the lightweight WBC title shot all the way up until Margarito. That Floyd has never fought consistent, top-notch level fighters in a short period of time and destroyed them in the manner that Manny Pacquiao did. And the only reason why Manny Pacquiao would lose, has lost, is because he fights a lot more often and a lot tougher competition. Manny Pacquiao, 28 of his fights have actually been against current, former or future world champions. Floyd can only say that for 21 of his fights. So the proof is there in black and white. You can't argue it. Plus, I just want to show a little something. And this man agrees.
A man that small, you know, he's different. It has never happened in boxing. It probably never will.
There we go. Floyd Mayweather Sr. backs me up on that. Manny Pacquiao's, that was after the Margarito fight. No man that small has ever gone and destroyed that caliber of fighters, and they never will again. That's my argument done.
Look at, UK boxing blogger Lee Sims coming with that heat. Okay, Divine Sense. All right, round 1 goes to you at this point in time. Why is Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s resume better than Manny Pacquiao's?
All right, man. Despite the fact that it's I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do this, but it's all good. Here I am, coming out with videos and shit. All right, look. To me, I've been talking about this for many years. It's quite simple, man. I've been breaking this down so many times. Now, I think that I'll start from the very beginning. What a lot of people like to point out about Manny Pacquiao is the obvious, right? The fact that he's got more fights and more wins, got a higher KO ratio, has fought, arguably more Hall of Fame fighters on his resume. That's the obvious. That shit stands out. You can search that anywhere on the internet. But here's the thing, and this is something that Boxingologist pointed out in his debate with Zone 6, which I completely agree with, is that you absolutely cannot discredit a distinguished amateur career. You cannot discredit an Olympic performance where you're representing your country You cannot discredit winning multiple Golden Glove awards. Okay, so you literally, some of the best fighters of all time or future Hall of Famers have distinguished amateur background. Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones Jr., and the list goes on and on and on. Okay? And we've got certain fighters in the game right now, okay, who are already fighting for world titles and already world title holders who have distinguished amateur backgrounds. For example, Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, okay? Amateur fights mean a lot. It's a different type of system than professional boxing, as we all know, okay? It takes a lot of skill in order to go and fight a guy and win on points, establish a win on points based off of 3 judges looking at cleaner punches. It's not all about going and try to knock somebody out. It's a lot more systematic. Okay, you learn that as an amateur. That's why a lot of amateur fighters who have a good background in amateur fighting come into the game well more advanced than a fighter like Manny Pacquiao, who was thrown in the ring at 16 years old and, in my opinion, fought no names that people never even heard about until he finally got a world title shot. So for the argument for Floyd Mayweather, he goes into the professional ranks after he wins the bronze medal, and I just want to say this: the fact that people want to say, "Oh well, he didn't win a gold," because gold is the American standard and this and that. Everybody and their brother, I don't give a shit if you like Mayweather or not, knows that he got robbed in the Olympics. It shouldn't even be a debate. Okay, Mayweather deserved gold. He got robbed. Okay, and moving on from there, he jumps into the professional ranks in 1996. So literally right after the Olympics. All right. So yeah, I agree with UK boxing. What is it? Bloggers, something like that. Blogger News. My bad. About him, he's got his daddy's name and Roger Mayweather's name, so he kind of gets a golden ticket when it comes to being able to get into big fights more earlier and quicker than Pacquiao. I agree with you on that. But again, he still wouldn't have been able to get that with or without his daddy's name or his uncle's name, wouldn't be able to do what he can do in professional ranks so quickly if he didn't perform well as an amateur. That's just the way it is. You still got to perform in the ring. So he goes into professional boxing in 1996. He wins his first title 2 years later, 18-0, or it's at the time of the fight, 17-0, and beats Genaro Hernandez. That fight right there was an absolute phenomenal victory, and in my opinion, probably one of the most accomplished victory on his resume. Okay, because he was fighting a guy who was well known to be at that time one of the best featherweights in the division. It was one of the best featherweights for a very long time. The only loss that he suffered was against another fellow Olympian, Oscar De La Hoya. So he beats this dude with only 17 fights and takes the strap. And he becomes the lineal NWBC featherweight champion. Then he defends this title 8 times. Okay, he defends his title against Angel Manfredi, Carlos Rios, Justin Junco, Carlos Guerrera, Giorgio Vargas, Emmanuel Augustus, and then he finally moves up in weight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 title defenses. No, 7, and then I'm not 100% sure is when he fought Diego Corrales if his title was on the line. When he fought Corrales, but 7 defenses for his first title. Okay, then he so compare that to Manny Pacquiao. Okay, Manny Pacquiao didn't get, and when I talk about, you know, the big sanctioning bodies, WBC, WBA, and IBF, those are the ones that I focus on, like big smallies, right? The actual real championships. I'm not talking about all these international crazy fucking belts that you can just go buy at Walmart. I'm talking about the real championship belts. Manny Pacquiao goes in there on his 25th fight, and he wins a belt at flyweight against Chai Sasakul. Okay. Now I just want to mention something. Before he got a title shot, he didn't fight anybody of any distinction. The only guy he fought before that was Rosito Torrecampo, who was a decent fighter in the Philippines, and he got knocked out. So Mayweather won a title on his 18th fight, was undefeated, beat a guy that was obviously a phenomenal fighter. The only loss that he suffered to was against Oscar De La Hoya. And compare that to Manny Pacquiao, you know, he's already getting knocked out before he gets a title shot. Now, I'm a huge boxing fan. I don't give a shit if fighters can get knocked out, come back, and still win world titles. You know, I admire that. But if you look at the black and white, it's going undefeated and not suffering any losses, not suffering any damage. I mean, Manny Pacquiao is already he's already fighting in wars before he gets his first title shot. He's already in damage. And this goes back to later on in this debate on why Mayweather and his style is a lot more proficient in many ways. Okay? So he wins this title, and I give him full credit for the Chai victory. Chai Sasakul is one of the best flyweight champions from Thailand. And fantastic fighter. I give him full credit. But he only defends that title twice. He only defends that title twice, and then he gets knocked out again by another fellow Thai. So he loses that lineal flyweight title, and now all of a sudden he's got 2 losses on his record, now 26-2. So it just shows you that Mayweather grabs the title, he defends it 7 times, and then now all of a sudden he's starting to make his move up to the next weight class, and he's going to fight a guy named Diego Corrales, who at that point people said, man, Mayweather is biting off more than he can chew. Diego Corrales is going to get this dude out of there. Easy work. Okay? And so he's moving up to super featherweight to take this title off of a very risky opponent. In the meantime, Manny Pacquiao only defended his title twice. He gets knocked out, and he comes in with some vacant WBC international bantamweight fucking title, which nobody gives a shit about. And he finally goes in and wins. He comes to America for the first time, wins an IBF super bantamweight title against what's that dude's name? Ledwaba. Okay, a fight that he took on short notice, and he won the fight. I give him full credit for that as well. But can you compare Ledwaba to Diego Corrales as far as the danger of the fight, the risk of that fight? In my opinion, you can't. That's just my opinion. Now, that's opinion-based, but we got to look at the type of fighter that Diego Corrales was at that time. And so Mayweather beats Diego Corrales in phenomenal fashion. Nobody expected the performance that Floyd Mayweather showed in that fight, and it was such a phenomenal victory that was when, to be honest, that was when the world said, this guy right here, Floyd Mayweather Jr., is a special fighter. Nobody really even knew who Manny Pacquiao was. So here we are. Mayweather's 25-0 now after he beats Diego Corrales. And the world is already saying, this guy's a special fighter. This guy can be a future Hall of Famer. That's what people are already saying. And he's undefeated. Meanwhile, Pacquiao has already suffered 2 knockout losses. He beats a guy named Ledwaba, and he's already had 35 fights. Nobody's even heard of the dude. No one really knows who Manny Pacquiao is yet. So they've got to make a name for Manny Pacquiao, and that's when he finally gets his biggest major fight. He fights Marco Antonio Barrera. Now, between who, by the way, he beat, and he captured the featherweight title. I give him full credit for that fight. Now, Barrera, between Barrera, Morales, and Marquez, that first victory against Barrera was the only fight that I'd say I give Pacquiao accolades for that one. Morales, by the time he fought Morales, he was already taking losses before he fought Manny Pacquiao. And then the first fight he lost, Manny Pacquiao lost to Eric Morales, so they had to do a rematch. By the time he got a hold of Marquez has been a war. They're all fighting, knocking each other out, beating each other, all going through wars and shit. They're all taking wear and tear. Okay, Manny Pacquiao's beating these guys after they're coming off all these wars. All 3 of these guys are fighting each other. And a lot of people say that Marquez won every single one of their fights. It's debatable. So while this is all going on and Manny Pacquiao is finally starting to establish his name in boxing now because he's beating these legendary fighters, Mayweather is continuing to establish his undefeated record. Takes another title from Castillo, lightweight, defends that title. And one thing I want to say, because I know I'm taking a little bit of time and want to finish this up, is that Floyd Mayweather, one thing that I like about his resume that stands out more than Manny Pacquiao's is that he's fighting guys, most of his fights where he's capturing titles, except for Carlos Valdemir. He's fighting guys that are coming off victories, on winning streaks, or are taking their titles away from them as they're undefeated. That's something that Manny Pacquiao can't say. Okay, he's taking these titles. He's fighting these undefeated fighters. They're coming off of winning streaks. He's fighting at them at their weight classes. When you get up towards the latter part of both of their careers, Manny Pacquiao is catch-weighting Cotto. He's catch-weighting Margarito. He's catch-weighting Oscar De La Hoya to capture these big titles. Meanwhile, Mayweather is fighting as a smaller guy in almost all of his fights. Now, yes, Manny Pacquiao's fighting as a smaller guy too, but he's bringing these guys down. He's weight draining these guys. And it's always going to be controversial of, is it fair? Is it fair? Do these guys fight at their full potential because these dudes are getting weight drained? So I'll cut out a major part of my argument and we can move on from the
Well, if you can finish the rest of your resume round, just do it. Can you do it within 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah. I'm just trying to systematically break it down. I know, man. I go through names and stuff. Shit takes time.
Okay.
But,
well, go ahead. Take your time. Go ahead. Do your thing.
My bad, man. My bad. Let me just talk about the latter part because I think that's what people are familiar with. We can go back down into the late 90s, early 2000s. I didn't really start watching Mayweather until like maybe 2004 or 5 anyway, because I'm not that old of a dude. So I remember watching Mayweather in the Olympics, but I was 12 years old. So the point is, let me talk about this latter shit, okay? Let's start with Oscar De La Hoya, because Oscar De La Hoya is when Mayweather became a star. He he captured the light middleweight title, and that was when he became Money Mayweather. Okay, he beat Oscar De La Hoya at 154. He beat Oscar De La Hoya in a situation where Oscar De La Hoya called all the shots. Oscar De La Hoya was on the A side, Mayweather was on the B side. That he chose the gloves. He chose the ring side. God only knows what else Oscar De La Hoya chose. Okay, he was the golden boy. He was the golden ticket. Mayweather beats this guy. In my opinion, a lot of people may say, "Oh, I thought Oscar De La Hoya he outworked Mayweather." Man, Mayweather beat that dude easy. He was going against everybody in that fight. That wasn't Manny Pacquiao in that ring that night. That was Floyd Mayweather beating a guy his own weight, beating a guy who was on the A side, beating a guy who was controlling everything in that fight. The odds were completely against him, and he beats this dude and takes the title. Becomes what we know now as Money Mayweather. Then he beats Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton's undefeated. A lot of people like to say, oh, well, Manny Pacquiao did a better job at taking out Ricky Hatton. Well, that's easy to say. And this is what I say to that. It's like me. It's like there's a fine female in our neighborhood, right? Everybody wants to hit that shit. Everybody's talking about, man, I want to fuck that bitch, but nobody wants to put the work in. So finally, I say, man, fuck this shit. I'm gonna fuck this bitch. So I start talking to her. I put the work in. I start spitting. The next thing I know, I'm back at the crib and I'm tapping that ass. Right? Everybody's like, oh shit, man, no, Divine finally got that pussy, damn, right? Then two months later, I get tired of her. I move on, and then one of my boys fuck her. Which, you know what I'm saying? Which one carries more weight? Obviously me, because I was the one to put the work, and I was the one who captured that shit where nobody else could. That's the way I look at boxing. Sometimes you gotta compare boxing to females, man. That's how delicate it is. You cannot say that Manny Pacquiao's big just because he knocked him out quicker. Mayweather knocked him out too, and Mayweather's not even a knockout artist, and he was stepping back and knocked him out with a check left hook. So, it's not even a comparison. Then he beats Marquez. He does a 10 times more better job beating Marquez than Manny Pacquiao ever thought of doing. And then let's not to mention he's been knocked out by Marquez. Okay, Mayweather outclassed this dude. He won every single round of that fight. And you can say, oh well, he was fighting a bloated up Marquez and this and that. Well, that's fine. But Mayweather was coming off of what? A fucking 2-year layoff. It's even playing field. Marquez is active in the sport. Marquez is in shape. Mayweather, we don't know what he's doing for 2 years. He comes in, he dominates. Easy work. Right? Beats Shane Mosley, beats Victor Ortiz. And a guy that, people don't want to talk about, but that's the truth, man, because he beat Berto. He was the WBC champion. All right? Beats Miguel Cotto at his weight, something that Manny Pacquiao did not do. At his comfortable weight. Okay? And he won the WBA super light middleweight title. Beats Guerrero, and then the one of the biggest fights, and nobody can dispute, in my opinion, the latter part of Floyd Mayweather's career is Saul Canelo Alvarez. He was supposed to be the new golden boy. He was supposed to be the guy to do it. Everybody was giving Mayweather shit. Why don't you fight Alvarez? Why don't you fight Alvarez? Stop ducking Alvarez. And then he fights him. And then he dominates him. My question for you is this, and then I'll move it on. Where is Manny Pacquiao's Diego Corrales? Where is Manny Pacquiao's Saul Canelo Alvarez? Where is Manny Pacquiao's Canelo Hernandez? That's all I want to say. He doesn't have it on his resume. He's fighting, beating up each other in drag out wars. He's fighting dudes that catch weight, and he's getting all this fame and glamour because this little dude who's knocking guys out, and people like his style. That's what it comes down to.
Okay. All right. Divine Sense, dropping some heat. A lot of facts there. UK Boxing Blogger round 2 goes to you. Round 2 will be about who will win the fight. All right. Skill set, who will win the fight. UK Boxing Blogger.
Who will win the fight? Well, clearly Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. Right, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the technical flaws of Floyd Mayweather that are clear to see. Basically, Floyd Mayweather, obviously, he can either fight in the high guard or behind his shell. Basically, what he's got to tell when he likes to, when he lands his shots, when he times people that come at him, which Pacquiao will be coming at him, he plants his lead foot. Manny Pacquiao will time that and use his footwork to bounce around that and get past the shell, or if he's in the high guard, come round with the left. Straight round it. He will step to his left and come with his left hand. And that will hit Mayweather every time. And also another thing is Manny Pacquiao's right hand is cooking again. In the Algieri fight and even in the Bradley fight at times, especially the Algieri fight, as Algieri would come to him, so whenever Mayweather tries to come towards him, Mayweather is susceptible to the right hand, the right hook, to a southpaw. Mayweather has shown against Zab Judah. Well, we all know that Zab Judah is good for the first few rounds, and then he starts getting off the gas. But Manny Pacquiao won't slow down. You see, Zab Judah was giving him a lot of angles, a lot of movement, and he was actually throwing a few nice right hands, stepping away from Floyd's lead foot and coming round with the left, sharp shots. Manny Pacquiao won't slow down. He won't end up standing in front of Floyd, and he won't give up mentally like that, like Zab Judah does. You know, and also, other than the Ortiz fight, well, 3 clear southpaws. You've got Zab Judah, Victor Ortiz, and you've got Guerrero. Right? So in my 3 examples, Guerrero managed to counter Floyd by doing exactly the same thing a few times, more than people actually realize. But he slowed down and started standing in front of Floyd later on, and he got hit. Again, Manny Pacquiao will not do that. You know, there's some technical flaws that Floyd really struggles with southpaws, in my opinion. And he's never seen anybody as quick with the feet footwork as Manny Pacquiao as a southpaw. Manny Pacquiao's got a very underrated right hand, and the timing of it, like when he knocked Ricky Hatton down. But if you do come towards him, which I believe that Floyd Mayweather will try and come forward sometime with the high guard, he will catch him with the right hand if you come at him, and he will also use the body work against Floyd. The thing with Floyd's shell as well, so I think any way Floyd chooses to fight, he's going to struggle with Manny Pacquiao stylistically, which is going to make it a great fight. So basically, Floyd, when he's fighting right-handers, this is why he's so comfortable. When he does come forward, if he's not using height, he can keep his shoulder roll, so he blocks the right hand, the power hand of an orthodox fighter. So he's safe there because he's got his shoulder ready and he's ready to lean back or move and cover his chin. And then he can pop over with the right hand, and he can also use that as like a bluffing tactic. And he plants his lead foot and he leads with the right hand. And it can work well against southpaws if they're stationary. But Manny Pacquiao is not going to be stationary. You know, so therefore, I think he's going to struggle like that. And then if he does open up and try the high guard, he'll be susceptible to Manny Pacquiao's right hands and body work that he will use, because Manny Pacquiao will, in my opinion, use his boxing ability. And I know that Divine Sense is going to be like, well, Manny Pacquiao's a power fighter, he's this and that. But no, Manny Pacquiao doesn't beat Hall of Fame fighters, as you said. Manny Pacquiao is a much better boxer than ever given credit for. You cannot beat the guys he's beaten or destroy the guys you've beaten that he has beaten, or go 12 rounds with these high-level quality opponents without having some boxing IQ. I think he's given no credit at all, and his speed he will use in a boxing way against Floyd. He will not, and I don't think, personally myself, the way Floyd counters is not the way. He doesn't hold his ground. He either leans back or leans forward. And he has, if you go and watch the Robert Guerrero fight as well, he has a tendency to lean into his right hand lead against the southpaw. And that will get him seriously hurt by Manny Pacquiao. I predict that he gets caught with a big uppercut or a big left hand or even a big right hook to the temple that hurts him really bad, because he's going to be leaning in. Just the footage is there to see. He leans in against southpaw when you try throwing that shot. That's my argument. That's stylistically, there's nothing more we can argue about. You know, Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion, is all wrong for Floyd. And I think Floyd, I'm not saying that he just knows he's not as comfortable fighting southpaws as Manny Pacquiao is comfortable as fighting orthodox. And I think Floyd actually avoids it. And I know Bob Arum will say this kind of stuff, but he's actually right when he's saying that Floyd, and he will know because they would have matched him up at a young age. He's actually right when he says that Floyd doesn't like southpaws. You know, plus, you know, I know that Floyd Mayweather knows that he's scared to death of him, and I know that his dad thinks so as well. And in his words again,
my concern is protection. My concern is
There we go. He's scared. He's fighting for his life, mate. How can you argue with that?
I'm sorry, guys. This fucking guy Lee is
No,
crazy.
listen,
Man.
Pacquiao is going to murder his son. So his dad believes, and that's his trainer. So if you go into the ring with that sort of mindset, you're going to get destroyed. No wonder Floyd don't want to fight. Over to you, Devon.
Are you done now, Lee?
I'm done.
Okay. Round 2. To Divine Sense, why will Floyd Mayweather defeat Manny Pacquiao?
Oh my God. Dude over here tripping, man. First off, you, for any reason other than you're completely bored and have nothing else to do with your life, to believe everything that Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Roger Mayweather says is beyond me, but we'll keep moving on from there. Look, it's this Styles thing. This is right up my alley. This is what I do. This is what I talk about. This is my strongest area, and this is where the dude from the UK is about to get destroyed. Here's the thing. This is like comparing apples and oranges. There is no comparison on who will win this fight. Easy, breezy work. It's not going to even be competitive. As a matter of fact, people will be sitting down watching this fight with their jaws hanging down to the floor when Manny Pacquiao is going to be straight with right hands all night long, timed, countered. Okay, I guarantee it. There's not one bone in my body that is concerned that Mayweather might lose this fight. The only way Manny Pacquiao wins the fight is he's got about 2 rounds from the opening bell to attack Floyd with complete furiosity. Catch Mayweather off guard. Okay, the reason why I say that is that, love him or hate him, Mayweather is a mastermind at adapting. That is a skill set that is highly overlooked in the sport of boxing. Manny Pacquiao doesn't adapt. Manny Pacquiao attacks. That's his style. His offense is his defense. That's the way he fights. Okay, he can come out with the ultimate game plan. Him and Freddie Roach can go and have a picnic together out in the Philippines and sit down and talk about, how they can beat Mayweather for hours. It wouldn't matter, because when Mayweather starts hitting this dude with clear shots, Manny Pacquiao is going to resort back to what he knows best, and that is punch. Nothing else is going to work for him except what you just said, to try to land that left hand. Here's the thing. The shoulder roll is effective, or can be effective against a southpaw just as easy as it can be effective against orthodox fighters. Okay? The only difference is that you have a little bit less protection against a power shot of a southpaw because of the different angles. And yes, Manny Pacquiao does fight at different angles. But as I said in previous videos before, we don't know what kind of Mayweather we're going to see. Are we going to see fighting in pocket Mayweather, or are we going to see moving Mayweather? Mayweather moved against Robert Guerrero. Yes, Guerrero, granted, he's a lot slower than Pacquiao, but it doesn't matter. Again, Mayweather is the master at adjusting. This is what he does. This shit is chess, not checkers. And this goes back again to Mayweather's extensive amateur background. You think Mayweather's only fought 3 southpaws in his whole life? I guarantee you he's fought a lot more southpaws than people give him credit for, or people even know. And not to mention that this is 2014. They've been talking about fighting for the past 5 years. You think Mayweather hasn't sat down and studied studied Pacquiao's style? Mayweather's been studying this dude for years. Mayweather watches all of Pacquiao's fights. He knows exactly how to beat Pacquiao. In my opinion, accuracy beats speed any day. A better defense will beat a better offense any day of the week. That is foretold and seen clearly throughout every sport in the world, pretty much, that competitive sports. Great defenses beat good offenses. Do I think Manny Pacquiao's a bum? Absolutely not. He's a great fighter at what he does. But Mayweather is a phenomenal boxer. Phenomenal being, at last time I checked, more times than not, phenomenal boxers beat great fighters. You have the every once in a while oddballs that pop up and pull an upset. But I'm sorry, Pacquiao's not the guy to do it. Mayweather's accuracy is the best in the sport. He doesn't waste punches. He's one of the most in-shape fighters. He's not going to get tired. He knows how to pace himself. He's a calculated fighter. He's a thinker in the ring. That is what's going to be the major difference. He could, you know, I have a feeling that he may allow Pacquiao to come at him, and he's going to be tough, tight in his Philly shell. Because he does that on purpose. He lets you throw what you want to throw so he can see what angles you're coming at, and he calculates it. So in that time, Manny Pacquiao's got to land something significant. And if he can't, it's game over. Because now Mayweather's already got you figured out. Mayweather's like the Terminator in the fucking ring, man. He sizes you up, he calculates you, then he dominates you. Okay, that's what it comes down to, man. You cannot dispute accuracy. You cannot dispute boxing ability. This is not some underground fucking bare knuckle shit. This is why you wear gloves. This is why you have a ring with ropes around it, because it's boxing. There is an art to it. It's a sweet science. Mayweather has perfected it. He's been doing it since he walked out of the crib. It's what he's born to do. Manny Pacquiao is not the guy to beat Mayweather. It's going to take a whole nother animal with speed, accuracy just as good as Mayweather's, patience just as good as Mayweather's, a calculated guy just like Mayweather to beat Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao is not that guy. It'll be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts. But yeah, man, Mayweather boxing IQ is way too high. He knows exactly how to beat Manny Pacquiao, and in my opinion, that shit about fucking Mayweather Senior talking about I'm afraid for his son's life, took that shit way out of context. That video was in referral to him thinking that Manny Pacquiao was on steroids. That's what that video was talking about. But I've always been saying Manny Pacquiao on steroids or not, Mayweather would beat him anyways. But at the end of the day, man, people are going to be in for a awakening if they do fight on May 2nd. And I have a very good feeling the fight's going to happen. And I can't fucking wait. That's it. I'm done.
All right. Divine Sense dropping it like it's hot. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we got fire-ass debate right now so far. Very good points, very entertaining. Now, round 3, this will be the last round. And we're going to open it up to discussion where you guys can ask each other questions and answer each other. However, the first question that I have for you guys, and then you can debate amongst yourselves, is Lee Simmons, why has this fight not happened between Mayweather and Pacquiao as of yet? Just Divine, you can jump in whenever you want.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
It's me first, isn't it?
Yeah, you first.
Right, okay, right. Basically, the reason why this fight has happened is clearly Mayweather's fault. 90% of it is all on Mayweather. And I'll tell you why. Right, first of all, Mayweather was dancing with the stars, took a little break. While he was doing that, Manny Pacquiao become pound for pound king. Floyd was retired. He said that stuff, so therefore Manny Pacquiao was obviously destroying guys. So he was pound for pound number 1. Floyd Mayweather comes back against Marquez, right? Gets a decent win over a fighter that had one fight in lightweight and then straight up from super featherweight up to welterweight. Is what it is. It was a good win for what it was at that time. That fight was in a certain time, so therefore he did that on purpose as well to try and drum up the interest, and from that point, Mayweather Senior and Mayweather were basically accusing Manny Pacquiao of his performances must have been some dodgy shit. So after the Manny Pacquiao fight, after which fight was it? Well, after the Manny Pacquiao fight of Miguel Cotto, And the Marquez fight, there was a time. So that happened at the end of the year. But in December 2009, Manny Pacquiao files a defamation of character lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather because they would constantly sort of try and call Manny Pacquiao a drug cheat. So
let me ask you a question. Ask you a question.
Go on.
Just a quick question. Did Manny Pacquiao, when people were accusing him for this and that, and I don't know if Manny Pacquiao was taking shit or not, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did Manny Pacquiao ever prove he wasn't on something?
The onus, no, you're innocent until proven guilty. So you're never going to be. And has Manny Pacquiao ever, right? So when you get sued for something, so it was on Floyd's legal team then to counter the argument that they basically slandered him and were accusing him of being a drug cheat when he wasn't. The only way to stop yourself getting sued in that instant when there's so much evidence against you where you are insinuating that, and by that asking for a drug test, which was completely out of the norm at that point, was another thing that added smoke to the fire. It was on the onus for Floyd's legal team to counter that claim and that lawsuit by asking for them to go and find evidence of Manny Pacquiao cheating. So therefore, they got all his records. They were granted permission by the courts to get his records, so they had all his pre and post fight drug tests and examinations before all his fights in America. And there was not one situation where there was any evidence of cheating. Never failed a drug test. So no. What you said to me? Did he prove not to? But the letter of the land, the law of any law, innocent to proven guilty. So that your question is completely invalid.
No, yeah? I'm not disputing the fact that did Mayweather do defamation of character, this and that. I don't really give a shit. Mayweather paid his fine. He moved on. It is what it is. But look. I'm saying if you're accused of something on the spot, right? If somebody comes up to me and says, yo, I think you're a drug dealer. You got drugs on you? I'm like, nah, fuck you. I'm gonna sue you because you're basically insinuating that I'm doing something that I'm not. When I can easily fucking pull out my pockets and be like, nah. Especially if that's fucking law enforcement or something of authority where you're gonna be coming to my house, knocking on my fucking door every day, insinuating that I'm dealing drugs. I'm going to pull out my pocket like, nah, I ain't got shit. Then it's done and dusted. There's no more controversy. They know I don't got nothing. I ain't doing nothing. And it's done. Manny Pacquiao, and not to mention the fact, these dudes are fighters. They put their life on the line every time they step to those ropes. This ain't some backyard shit. They were accusing Manny Pacquiao, yes, of taking steroids or being on some type of EPO. Do I think Mayweather went about it correctly? Of course not. But they thought he was on something. And not only Mayweather, but many people in the boxing world were suspicious of Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao to this day has never taken random blood and urine testing.
Yes, he has.
He had an opportunity and he didn't do it. He refused the fight. That's why the very first fight went down the drain, is because he refused to take that. Period. He refused.
Well, okay, let me tell you something about that design. So, Divine, right, basically, you just made a completely false statement. Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley in a second fight in the state of Nevada did Olympic-style drug testing through WADA, the World Athletic Doping Agency. So, therefore, you just made a complete inaccurate statement there. Yes, they did. Because Nevada have been working hand in hand with the UFC to make sure all their big fights that go on are done by WADA Olympic-style drug testing. So therefore, you're completely inaccurate with that. And Manny Pacquiao also has never had a fear of taking needles and stuff like that. Yeah, because if you go and watch HBO 24/7, I think it's the Oscar De La Hoya episode, or it was the Ricky one, he's having a drug test like on his pre-medical before he went in to have the fight. It's there in footage. So therefore, I don't know where You know, there's a
But
lot
it's
of
all-
crazy shit that's been said that he was done. But the thing is that he was pound for pound number one. Nobody comes out making him look like insinuating he's a drugs cheat and calling the shots when you ain't pound for pound number one. You know, therefore, by the time Pacquiao agreed a year later, Floyd was on some whole other new shit. Yeah, he was saying, I ain't never doing no business with Bob Arum ever. He owes me money. So then, okay, so why 9 months before did you start calling him a cheat, ask for drug tests? And by the way, say that a lot of rumors going on that, oh yeah, there was a thing saying that they had a contract all round, which is complete bullshit, by the way, because the guy on YouTube, I've seen that statement plastered out, so I'm going to counter anything you got to say about that. Richard Shea said that they never ever sent out contracts for in his own mind, because they would have never agreed to a 50-50 split with or without drug tests, because what they would have done was audit the pay-per-view sales and pay them accordingly. So that is completely false. That's just a news article on YouTube, Yahoo, by the way. So basically, fucking Floyd, how could he's full of disingenuous offers. Basically, $40 million before the Bradley defeat is a complete farce. You know, sometimes you offer to do something for somebody, but you know full well that they ain't going to do it, but you're just doing it to make yourself look like a nice guy. You know, they're just about to walk out the room to go make a cup of tea, and you'd be like, oh, I'll do it for you. And they're like, no, because they're already doing it. You know full well, and you and all three, everybody that's listening to this knows full well that you never did that in good intentions, and you knew full well that your offer was going to get turned flat down. That happens all the time. That's all Floyd's done, because he's not doing business with Bob Arum. So why the hell should any of his offers be taken seriously? He's made that clear. The guy's made excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. $40 million before that fight. No, that $40 million before that, that was never an offer that anybody was going to take when it was 50-50 fight. Right? You can't argue with that. And then two, the whole way now, Pacquiao's wanted the fight. He accuses him begging. It's ridiculous. And the statement that he come down, if you want to touch on yesterday on Showtime, is a complete farce. The guy don't want the fight. He's scared as hell of the fight. You know, and I'll tell you what, right, and I just want this statement, right, I just want to make one last statement, you can come back at me. Floyd Mayweather doesn't want the fight, right, because his whole career, he avoids people and only fights people at the right time. You touched on Manny Pacquiao, weight draining people and all that. No. Floyd has had a history of putting weight stipulations on Canelo, pulling Ricky Hatton up from 140 to 147 when he weren't a 147er, and the only 147 fight that he had out of that weight division, he rocked up by Collazo, right? And it was only because he was Ricky Hatton he managed to get away with that victory. So he wasn't a welterweight, so he got dragged up to that weight, and also he fought Cotto, which you want to say he fought him at the right weight, which is complete bullshit, because Cotto, other than being the middleweight champion of the world, has done jack shit except for struggle at 154 against average fighters. So let's not go there either. And I'll tell you, this is the reason why Floyd definitely won't want to take a challenge like Manny Pacquiao. Look, this is in his...
Think about your legacy? Every day. I think about my legacy every day. In what way? Just some days I say I want to go down as the best fighter. But then as of lately, I've been wanting to go down as the smartest businessman that ever got inside that ring. That sounds better to you.
See, the guy don't want to be the best fighter ever lived. He don't want to take on the best challenges. The guy just wants to be the smartest business guy in the ring, which means doing it the way where you take less risk, high reward. New age boxing era. Manny Pacquiao has never ducked nobody. I can list you loads and loads of guys that Floyd Mayweather has not fought. Right? I dare you to challenge in the right contents. Name me a list of good fighters that Manny Pacquiao just didn't fight. Yeah, I can name you Casamayor, lightweight, super featherweight, Asalin Freitas, both weights, Steve Forbes, Stevie Johnson, Spadafora, you had personal beef with him, Gregorian, Costa Zoo, Vivian Harris, Hatton prime at 140, Cotto prime at 140, even worthier guys than Henry Bruseles and DeMarcus Corley and Sean Bay Mitchell was a light welterweight to 147 fighter. When Floyd fought him, he could have fought people like Ricardo Torres, guys with a bit of power and speed, Kendall Holt, all these fighters, man. And he ducked people like in my opinion, not dark, that's too harsh, but there's too much coincidence in his career that these fights just never happened. Even guys like Paul Williams, Cotty, Margarito, Berto, undefeated when he didn't fight him for some reason. You know, so there's too much suspicion over Floyd's career to ever say that his resume is anywhere near better than Pacquiao's, or to say that Floyd has not ducked Pacquiao. So if you have to lean one way or the other through the evidence of suggestion, it's easily Manny Pacquiao's favour. He's never ducked nobody. And as you were saying about the featherweight division, oh, tell me like from Diego Corrales or Hernandez, right? He got beaten up by Oscar De La Hoya, but plus he only beat age. You're going to say about an age in a Zuma Nelson victory. You know what I mean? Like the guy was good, but he's not as good as you're picking him out to be, right? So and not only that, Manny Pacquiao in the featherweights divisions, you listed it. You said to me, "Oh, what's he ever done before that?" I never ever discredited Floyd's amateur pedigree. He had amateur pedigree. He had a promoter's backing when he turned pro. He was an Olympian. He should have got gold medal. He was high level. He had a father and uncle training him religiously as a child. He had all that support. My point was that Manny Pacquiao did it the hard way, and no fault was Floyd's. He never had the amateur pedigree. He had to do everything the hard way. He got like a little knockout loss to a nobody early on in his career, and he lost his title because he couldn't make the weight, and he had to go from flyweight up to super bantamweight. You know, the guy, when you're in them lower divisions, the names ain't necessarily there. But when he did get up to a featherweight division, a marquee division, the guys he fought at them weight classes were much superior. If you want to, not superior. 2 Barrera fights, 3 Morales fights, 2 Marquez fights. That just kills any argument you got. Just there. You know, and he did that over a short period of time. And then went on one of the best runs you'll ever see in Floyd's dad's own words. And it's not just his own words, and I know it's funny at the time. But what Pacquiao did is undeniable. And he did that. You know, Floyd Mayweather as well. Do you know how many fights he's had in the same period as it took Floyd Mayweather like 11 years to have 17 fights. 11 years to have 17 fights. There or thereabouts. Manny Pacquiao in the same time frame, it took him about 8 years, 7 years. And the guys he's fought, you just go and list, right? I dare you to challenge these. Actually, you say Floyd's always fighting undefeated guys, winning. No, he's not. Manny Pacquiao's just beaten Tim Bradley, undefeated, Chris Algieri, after a knockout loss. Undefeated guys. So where's Floyd, undefeated world champions he's been fighting? I ain't seeing them. So that kills that argument. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's not even recent time. That's not even recent time. You know, that's right. So, and what I want to do is I want to make one last thing, right? You know, I know you're going to bang on about Diego Corrales. Yeah. That's your undefeated champion. That was years ago. By the way. Yeah. No. Yeah. And Ricky Hatton. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you got, yeah? But Manny Pacquiao and Saul Alvarez, but Manny Pacquiao's done Algieri and Bradley in his last 2 fights. But your statement was that he always does it more than Manny Pacquiao. But no, he doesn't. It's around the same. They probably fought the same amount of undefeated fighters. And Pacquiao's done it in his last 2 fights. Right? I think he done it in a couple of fights. But yeah, we'll list them, yeah? So we got Maidana twice. You can sell that up because you give Floyd nightmares, but Maidana, other than power equation and strength, Algieri was technically a nightmare for Manny Pacquiao, and everybody was saying that he's not going to engage, and Pacquiao's going to struggle with that stuff, you know. So that to me was tougher fight than the Maidana fights, but it took Floyd 2 fights to do that. So you got Alvarez, Guerrero, Cotto, Ortiz, Mosley, Marquez, Ricky Hatton, De La Hoya, Boldemir, Zab Judah, Shante Mitchell, Toro Gatti, Henry Bracelles, DeMarcus Corley, Philip Undu, and Sosa. You know, and that's took him 11 years to do that. Yeah? And in an extremely shorter period of time than that, Manny Pacquiao's done Algieri, Bradley, Rios, Marquez, Bradley, Marquez, Mosley, Margarito, Clottey, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, De La Hoya, David Diaz, Marquez, Barrera, Solis, Morales, Morales again, Marquez, Barrera a couple of times, all in the same time period. So who's gonna lose in that period, and who ain't? That list is far superior. He's fought more world champions, he's KO'd more guys, more wins, he's gone through more weight classes. I don't see how he's destroyed guys better other than one Marquez situation that you're going to go on about in a minute. You've no argument. Manny Pacquiao's record, and Floyd has clearly ducked Manny Pacquiao this whole time because all the evidence and suspicion suggests so. That's what I got.
All right. You good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
I enjoyed that. All right, look, you hit a lot of points, man. I don't want to cut you off because I'm a gentleman. So I'm going to try. I got to counter some stuff. I wrote some stuff down. All right, simple questions. First one, you said something about Cotto. You said that Cotto hadn't done shit at light middleweight, and so therefore he wasn't at his real weight, which Mayweather fought him at. I'm going to ask you a question. At what point did he deny shit, or what fights did he struggle in other than Austin Trout? What fights did he struggle in at light middleweight?
Who? Miguel Cotto?
Cotto. Yeah.
What I said was he's a middleweight champion now, but his performances, haven't been great at 154. He was never a prime Miguel Cotto when
against
Floyd.
Against who? What his performance
Floyd.
wasn't great against
No,
who?
he struggled the hell against Ricardo Mayorga. He got the victory out there. Early on, no. Yuri Foreman had a bad leg, hopped around the place. You know, he got beat by Floyd Mayweather.
But Cotto was winning both of those fights. He was winning both of those fights, the whole fight. It wasn't like he was losing and then all of a sudden he just got won by knockout. He was winning those fights. He was in control of those fights.
Okay, so when he lost to Austin Trout and Floyd Mayweather before, you know, Floyd, he had never been set the welter light at 154 at all.
I mean, what more do you want?
I'm just countering your argument. You're going to say that's a credible win, and that
I'm saying you're basically saying that Manny Pacquiao fought. Is that your position? Manny Pacquiao fought a better Miguel Cotto than Mayweather did?
No. My position on that is clear. That you were trying to exaggerate on Manny Pacquiao. Weight draining people doing this and that, and I'm saying Floyd's done his own.
Mayweather didn't weight drain Cotto.
No, I'm not saying that, but Mayweather. No, Mayweather. What I said was what I said was clear. You don't. Your point now was trying to say that you're trying to argue that he was a prime Cotto at 154. My point was clear. I said he wasn't as prime as made out because Cotto has never looked $1 million at 154 ever. That's my argument. That's done. That's clear. I already said that. Unless you can challenge me on that belief, then let's have it. And I've just given you my argument.
I agree with you that in reality Cotto was.
Go to your next question then. You just agreed with me. That's it.
I'm not agreeing with you. I'm saying that Mayweather fought Cotto at a weight class that he has been fighting at for what? By the time he fought, he already had 3 fights at light middleweight before he fought him. And all 3 won by knockout. Yuri Foreman, Mayorga, and Margarito. So he didn't wait. He was fighting at he fought Cotto at a weight class that he would have got 3 victories out of. I just don't see how he didn't.
Well, the Margarito when he beat Margarito, Margarito had already been destroyed and had mad eye problems and
here we go.
And whether he had the hand wraps or whatever, Pacquiao ended his career. No. This is different.
Margarito that could have fucking worn hand wraps and beat the shit out of Cotto. Nobody really knows. I mean, it is what it is. You're under suspicion. Hold up. Margarito was under suspicion for having fucking bricks in his gloves. And then if I'm Miguel Cotto, I don't give a shit if he would have hobbled in that fucking ring with 1 leg. I'm going to knock his ass out because that's fucking vengeance. That's revenge. Fuck that shit.
You're going off track, mate, because I agree with that. I'm up for that. But what I'm stating is he was damaged goods because Pacquiao fucking bust up his face. He couldn't see his eyes fucked. That's all I'm saying. I'm glad Cotto gave him a hiding when he had 1 arm or fucking nothing. He deserved payback shit. That's fair enough. So we agreed upon that point. But I'm just saying that Cotto wasn't in prime like middleweight form, as one would suggest. You know, and then after that would go on to prove that, in my opinion, with the Trout defeat was awful. No, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't think he looked $1 million in them fights. I think he struggled early on. Anyway,
All right. Let me
let's go to the next point. Anyway.
move on. I don't want to spend all this time on fucking Cotto. Look, you're basically you keep talking basically about how Mayweather, his layoffs, he hasn't accomplished as much as Pacquiao. He's avoiding the fights for this reason and that reason. And I think it comes down to this. Boxing is a business. It's a ugly truth that people don't want to accept. Mayweather, which a lot of people don't sit down and think about. They just think about, oh, he's Money Mayweather. He just wants money. He wants to fight fights when he wants to fight them. He's an ignorant cocksucker. He doesn't give a shit about fans or anybody. Maybe partially of that, maybe partial of what I just said is true, but not 100%. Floyd Mayweather is a student of the game. He learns from the mistakes of previous African-American champions in America, like Tyson, like Ali, like Sugar Ray Robinson. He learned that I'm not going to be controlled by a fucking promoter, allow a promoter to control all the money coming in and out, and then at the end of the day, when I'm done and my career is finished, I'm going to be paying back taxes, be a commentator, struggling to survive. Mayweather made the ultimate decision to detach himself from Bob Arum, who is a piece of shit in the sport of boxing. And this is one reason why Manny Pacquiao, or it is basically the biggest reason why Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather hasn't fought, is because of Top Rank and Bob Arum controlling Manny Pacquiao's career. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's fought more times, but who gives a shit? At the end of the day, this is what it's going to come down to. This is what it's going to come down to. When it's all said and done, the dust settles, whether they fight or not. Now, of course, it's going to be a blemish on both of their records if they don't fight. Now, we may disagree on whose fault it is, but it's going to be a blemish on both of their legacies if they don't fight each other. But more than likely, Mayweather is going to retire undefeated. More than likely, Mayweather is going to be living well off. His children are going to be living well off. People around Mayweather are going to be living well off because of the choices Mayweather made during his career. Manny Pacquiao hasn't even retired yet, and he's already got taxed.
Well, that's the
He's got other issues. He's got issues, man. That's why he's going to continue to fight and allow this piece of shit Bob Arum promoter to control his career because there's really no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no light at the end of the tunnel for Pacquiao, man. There's really not. And you cannot sit there. You can put your finger on Mayweather's chest and be like, yeah, you ducked the fight and you took layoffs, this and that. But when it's all said and done, and the light is shed on both of the fighters when both of their careers are done, Mayweather made the better decisions in his career financially, and he established himself as an undefeated fighter, never lost. Okay, and it's not like you just don't become five weight class champion overnight. You've got to beat people. And the whole undefeated thing, we're not talking about some fucking dude that fought in Europe for 12 years or something, never fought any key names and became an undefeated fighter and then retired. That's not Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's fought Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame fighters. He fought plenty of good names. He's done a lot of work in the sport. He's taken a lot less damage than Manny Pacquiao. And then you can say he's taken less damage because he's fought, less riskier fights. No, he's taken less damage because of the type of fighter that he is, of his skill set.
Okay. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but the thing is,
this is what it comes down to, though. This ain't. Hold on. I just want to say this. This ain't the Roman times, man. This ain't. I put a sword in your hand. You better go kill him, or he's gonna kill you. Nah. This is a business. This is modern day boxing. There's so much corruption in sport and bullshit going on. At the end of the day, like I said, Mayweather's making the correct business moves, the correct legacy moves. He's doing what he has to do to protect himself because he's learned from the past. And it's something that Pacquiao hasn't learned from yet. And it's something that Pacquiao is going to regret when the career is said and done, especially if he doesn't get in the ring and fight Mayweather next year.
Well, okay, that's good. But to me, Right. To me, yeah, it's going to be a stain on Floyd's legacy because Manny Pacquiao's legacy cemented, win, lose or draw, because he's lost and stuff like that. So Ed Floyd's going to always be known as the guy that ducked Manny Pacquiao, like it or not. Not everyone's in the same fortunate position that they can be their own boss and all that. Floyd's the only fighter in the game. So why you're basically discrediting every dumbass fighter in the game for working for a promoter. So actually, Bob Arum's done great things for all fighters. He might have nicked cash off a few of them or made loads of money, but at the end of the day, when you're selling two men fighting against each other, whoever does it, whether it be fucking Bob Arum or Oscar De La Hoya or fucking the famous fucking advisor Al Heyman, you're still stealing money from two guys that are putting blood, sweat and tears into it. But what I want to touch on one thing in a way, just this last little thing, little 30 seconds. You said, oh, this is my area. Now I'm going to break down the fight. This is where I come into my own and all that. We were technically breaking down a fight. You didn't technically say shit other than my man's going to spool him. He's going to land right hand after right hand. I took you through the fundamentals of every counteraction of what Floyd's going to bring and how Pacquiao's going to counter that and how Floyd can't adjust to that. I explained it in detail, broke it down. You never broke down jack shit, and that was your area.
No, because
the superiority. No, it's there. Everybody.
You got this because you're reaching. You're reaching.
Done. No,
you're reaching for shit.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
gotta reach.
No,
It's too easy.
Shit.
It's too easy for me.
So listen, mate. You didn't give me no content. You sold this. I thought I'm gonna get murdered. You buried yourself by giving yourself the big sale and didn't say shit.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's a negative.
Okay, guys. Save it for part 2 if there is one. We will let the people in the comment section decide who was the victor today. This was a very entertaining debate. I enjoyed it. I'm going to listen to this shit again tonight. This was classic. I like this one. So it was a lot of points made on both sides. People in the comment section, explain who you thought won the debate and why. What points did they make that stood out to you? 78 Sports TV here in the Lion's Den with Divine Sense and UK boxing blogger Will Holler.